What do you want?
I want to stay here.
You can't stay here.
Yeah, but you're staying here.
I'm conducting.
Oh, you mean if you conduct, you can stay here?
That's right. Get out.
All right, I want to conduct.
You can't conduct.
The room was silent, heavy, unsettling, the kind of silence that doesn't just fill a space. It pierces it. No laughter, no music, no spotlight waiting to shine. Just a fading legend sitting in a dimly lit chair, cigarette trembling between his fingers. Dean Martin, the man who once owned Hollywood with nothing but a smile and a song, now looked heartbreakingly small. His family stood just off camera, tears slipping down their cheeks as they watched the father they loved slip into a world without applause. This was not the cool, confident king of Las Vegas. This was the raw, final truth behind the icon, and what he said next shattered everyone in the room. Long before the legend, before the tuxedos, before the glitz of Las Vegas, he was simply a boy named Dino Paul Crocetti, born in Steubenville, Ohio on June 7, 1917. His father, Gaetano, was an Italian barber from Montesilvano, and his mother, Angela, was an Italian-American who tried her best to keep the family together through poverty. Life wasn't kind to young Dino. At just 15, he stepped into underground boxing rings under the name Kid Crochet, taking punches in hopes of punching his way out of hardship. He joked later that he won all but 11 of his 12 fights, masking bruises with humor in a way he would do his whole life, leaving the bruises and broken knuckles of boxing behind. He stepped into the uncertain grind of adulthood with nothing but grit. Dean Martin took whatever work he could find, hauling steel as a mill worker, dealing cards in illegal casinos, and hustling through smoky backrooms where danger often sat at the same table as opportunity. But deep down, he knew none of these jobs were his future. His real gift was his voice. Under the name Dino Martini, he began singing with small local bands, slowly shaping the smooth, effortless sound that would one day define him. Eventually, he changed his stage name to Dean Martin, a decision that seemed simple at the time, but would soon echo through entertainment history. His break came when he joined the Ernie Mackay Orchestra, performing across Ohio and beyond, catching the attention of audiences who sensed something different about him. He didn't shout for attention. He didn't force his charm. It flowed naturally, quietly, irresistibly. By the time he moved into the competitive New York music scene, people were finally starting to notice. His voice was warm but confident, relaxed but powerful. It stood out in a world full of polished crooners trying to hard. Fame didn't arrive overnight, but when it began, it didn't tiptoe. It hit fast, loud, and with a momentum no one could slow. And then came the moment that changed everything. In 1946, Dean partnered with a young, unpredictable comedian named Jerry Lewis. The pairing was strange on paper: the calm, cool singer and the explosive comic tornado. But lightning sometimes forms from the most unlikely clouds. Their first show at the 500 Club in Atlantic City was nearly catastrophic. The club owner, furious at their dull act, warned them they'd be fired unless they delivered something spectacular in the next set. Backstage and desperate, Dean and Jerry made a choice that would alter comedy forever. They tore the script apart. No plan, no structure, just chaos. They stormed back onto the stage like two men with nothing left to lose. Jerry leapt into wild slapstick. Dean improvised cool comebacks and exaggerated reactions. And together they created a whirlwind of music, madness, and pure, unfiltered spontaneity. The audience didn't just laugh, they roared. They screamed. They fell in love. In that moment, the unstoppable phenomenon known as Martin and Lewis was born. Soon they dominated every entertainment avenue. They touched nightclubs, radio, early television, and eventually Hollywood. Their film debut in My Friend Irma turned them into national sensations. The chemistry was electric, and audiences couldn't get enough. They hired brilliant young writers, including Norman Lear, who helped shape their act into a polished comedic hurricane. Everywhere they went, the crowds went wild. But behind the curtain, cracks began to form. Jerry Lewis, perfectionist to the core, demanded more energy, more danger, more spotlight. Dean Martin, on the other hand, longed for calm, for freedom, for equality in the partnership. He felt smothered, overshadowed, increasingly reduced to the straight man whose only job was to set up Jerry's chaotic punchlines. Resentment simmered. By the time they filmed Hollywood or Bust, tension had reached its breaking point. Dean finally snapped, telling Jerry the words that ended everything. "You're nothing but a dollar sign. On July 25, 1956, 10 years to the day after their first show, they walked off the Copacabana stage and into separate futures, ending what many still call the greatest comedy duo America ever saw. Many believed the breakup would end Dean's career. They underestimated him. He shocked critics with a dramatic performance in The Young Lions alongside Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift. He followed with hits like Rio Bravo, Some Came Running with Frank Sinatra, and the Rat Pack classic Ocean's 11. And then the unthinkable happened. His song Everybody Loves Somebody knocked the Beatles from the top of the charts in 1964. Dean Martin was back, bigger than ever. Television crowned him The Dean Martin Show, which ran from 1965 to 1974, solidified him as a national treasure. His roasts, later known as the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts, became iconic, blending charm, humor, and mischief in a way only Dean could pull off. But behind the suave persona was one of Hollywood's biggest illusions. Everyone thought Dean Martin was always drunk. The stumbling walk, the slurred jokes, the glass of whiskey glued to his hand. But the truth, it was all an act, a brilliant performance choice. His whiskey was often apple juice. His children rarely saw him intoxicated. Even Dean admitted he drank far less than people thought. That charming, tipsy crooner was a character, a tool to stand out in an industry full of polished, sober performers. His personal life was just as full as his career. He married Elizabeth and Betty McDonald in 1941 and had 4 children, Craig, Claudia, Gail, and Deanna. After their divorce, he married Dorothy Jean Beeger in 1949 and had 3 more, Dean Paul, Richie, and Gina. His third marriage to Catherine Hahn in 1973 brought 1 adopted daughter, Sasha. He faced unimaginable tragedy with the deaths of his sons Dean Paul in a military plane crash in 1987 and RICCI in 2016. Those losses sank deep into him, leaving quiet scars he rarely spoke of. His fame came with contradictions too. Although he identified as a Republican, he publicly supported Lyndon B. Johnson, a Democrat, in the 1964 election. This shocked fans, but reflected Dean's independent thinking. He wasn't defined by party loyalty, but by what felt right. His comedy, especially during the Rat Pack era, often involved ethnic and racial jokes that today are widely considered insensitive. Sammy Davis Jr., his close friend, was often the target of racial humor, even as Dean refused to perform in segregated venues. It was a complicated legacy, progressive actions mixed with outdated comedy. Women also became props in the entertainment of that era. On The Dean Martin Show, groups like the Gold Diggers, talented dancers and singers, were framed more as glamorous visuals than equal performers. The flirtatious jokes, gender stereotypes, and objectification reflected the culture of the 1960s and 70s. What once seemed harmless humor now feels like evidence of a different time. But time eventually caught up with the man behind the legend. In September 1993, doctors at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center diagnosed him with lung cancer. Years of smoking had taken their toll. Doctors recommended surgery, but Dean Martin refused. He didn't want hospitals, treatments, or a long battle. He wanted peace. In early 1995, he quietly withdrew from the public eye, retreating into his Beverly Hills home, his world growing smaller as memories grew louder. On Christmas morning, December 25, 1995, Dean Martin passed away at the age of 78 from respiratory failure caused by emphysema. Las Vegas, the city he helped define, dimmed its lights in his honor, a tribute few entertainers have ever received. He was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery, his crypt engraved with the words, "Everybody loves somebody sometime," the line that followed him through his entire life. Looking back, the legend of Dean Martin is not just a Hollywood story, it's a human one. He wasn't the drunk fool people thought he was. He wasn't the effortless charmer he pretended to be. He was a man of contradiction, private yet adored, disciplined yet playful, flawed yet deeply loved. His life carried triumphs, heartbreaks, controversies, and quiet endings. But what makes his story endure isn't perfection, it's humanity. He lived on his own terms. He loved deeply. He hurt quietly. And when he was ready, he walked away from the spotlight with the same calm confidence he carried on stage today. As the world revisits his movies, his songs, his shows, and those unforgettable roasts, audiences see more than a performer, they see a man who shaped entertainment and left a legacy glowing long after the lights of Las Vegas dimmed. Dean Martin wasn't just a legend. He was a father, a friend, and a voice that warmed the world before choosing silence on his own terms. If this story moved you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Hollywood histories. Thanks for watching.